I was young, I was stupid, I was naive.
This is SportsCenter.
In an exclusive interview with ESPN, Alex Rodriguez answers allegations he tested positive for steroids.
You were asked if you would ever use steroids, human growth hormone, or other performance-enhancing substances, and you said no. In your mind, that wasn't a lie?
A day in baseball history that will long be remembered. Peter Gammons, one-on-one with Alex Rodriguez in search of the truth.
It's my fault. I'm responsible for this.
Welcome to SportsCenter. Alongside Brian Kinney, I'm Jay Harris. A whirlwind 48 hours in the life of Alex Rodriguez, culminating today in the startling admission the best player in baseball did use performance-enhancing drugs.
He is the highest paid and most polarizing player in the game, and now he's front and center in what you can call the steroid era. Peter Gammons speaking with Rodriguez this afternoon at his home in Miami, and the three-time MVP, citing a different culture of a few years ago, said he did in fact use performance enhancers from 2001 to 2003. You will hear all of this exclusive interview here on SportsCenter, just over 30 minutes in all. Here's the start. Peter Gammons today with A-Rod.
Alex, this weekend Sports Illustrated reported that in 2003, you tested positive for testosterone and an anabolic steroid known as primobolan. What's the truth?
When I arrived in Texas in 2001, I felt an enormous amount of pressure. I felt like I had all the weight of the world on top of me, and I needed to perform, and perform at a high level every day. Back then, it was a different culture. It was very loose. I was young. I was stupid. I was naive, and I wanted to prove to everyone that, I was worth, and being one of the greatest players of all time. And I did take a banned substance, and for that, I'm very sorry and deeply regretful. And although it was a culture back then, and in Major League Baseball overall, was very I just feel that I'm just sorry. I'm sorry for that time. I'm sorry to my fans. I'm sorry for my fans in Texas. It wasn't until then that I ever thought about substance of any kind, and since then I've proved to myself and to everyone that I don't need any of that. And
so you're saying that the time period was 2001, 2, and 3?
That's pretty accurate, yes.
And what kind of substances were you taking?
Peter, that's the thing. I mean, again, it was such a loosey-goosey era I'm guilty for a lot of things. I'm guilty for being negligent, naive, not asking all the right questions, and to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what substance I was guilty of using.
Where did you originally get the substance?
Again, at the time, you have nutritionists, you have doctors, you have trainers. That's the right question today. Where did you get it? We're in the era of the Baco and Mitchell era. Back then, it was just about what, and there's many things that you can take that are banned substances. I mean, there's things that have been removed from GNC today that would trigger a positive test. I'm not sure exactly what substances I used, but whatever it is, I feel terribly about it.
Now, when did you get the wake-up call?
It wasn't until 2003. I was laying in my bed in Surprise, Arizona. We were doing a team conditioning down by the pool in Arizona, and I suffered a very serious neck injury that went all the way down to my spine. And I missed about 2.5 weeks of spring training, and I was scared that I was going to miss time. I also had a streak of about 400 games consecutive played, or 300, I'm not sure what the number was. But it was at that point in bed that I realized, what am I doing? Not only am I going to hurt my baseball career, but I'm going to hurt my post career. And it was time to grow up, stop being selfish, stop being stupid, and take control of whatever you're ingesting. And for that, I couldn't feel more regret and feel more sorry, because I have so much respect for this game and you know, the people that follow us and respect me. And I know I have millions of fans out there that are, you know, will never look at me the same.
Let's go back. How were you introduced to these substances? Was it at the gym? Was it from other players?
The culture was, it was pretty prevalent. There was a lot of people doing a lot of things. There was a lot of gray area too. You know, back then you can walk in GNC and get 4 or 5 different products that today will probably trigger a positive test. It wasn't a real dramatic day once I arrived in Texas that something monumental happened in my life. The point of the matter is that I started experimenting with things that today are not legal or today are not accepted, and today you will get in a lot of trouble for. Ever since that incident that happened to me in Arizona, in Surprise, I realized that, you know what, I don't need any of it, and what I have is enough, and I've played the best baseball of my career since. I've won 2 MVPs since, and I've never felt better in my career. So that I'm very proud of.
So the test that was failed in 2003, that came off what you were using at the beginning of spring training before you got hurt?
I'm not sure exactly of the timing of everything, because it is a long time. It's been almost 6 years. But I do remember thinking in my bed in Arizona, is like, what am I doing? Wake up, stop being selfish. And you get to a point where you get tired of being stupid and selfish and not being honest with yourself. And that's what I realized in '03. So I am sorry for my Texas years. I apologize to the fans of Texas. And there's absolutely no excuse, and I really feel bad about it.
To talk a little bit about that culture, it was an underground culture. Player said to me last summer that he really believes that in that period between about '98 and 2004, that the players who didn't do one thing or another were either scared or didn't care. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think you just felt a tremendous need to keep up and to play well and to play. You know, it was hot in Texas every day. It was over 100 degrees, and you know, you felt like without trying to over-investigate what you're taking, can I have an edge just to get out there and play every day? And that's what it came down to. I can't speak for everybody who did it. I can only speak for myself. And regardless of what we want to mask and say and justify, there's absolutely no excuse for what I did. I'm sorry. And if I was a fan of mine, a fan of the Rangers, I would be very pissed off. And I can't take that back, but just realize that I'm sorry, and I want to do things to change. I want to do things to influence children and realize they should learn from my mistake, because it's you know, biggest regret I have in my life, because baseball's given me everything, and I have so much respect. And you know, there'll be some people that say that, you know, Alex is not a great player. You know, take going back to high school. I mean, they're just going to have this blanket cloud over my career, and for those, they may have their own point, but it feels good coming out and being completely honest and putting it out there and realizing that the more honest we can all be, the quicker we get baseball to where it needs to be.
Well, to go back, when you were 21 years old, you hit 358. You're saying that at that point in your career, high school, #1 pick in the country, when you're hitting 358 at the age of 21, that you were completely clean?
100%, 100%. And even further than that, I never even seen or even heard of the idea of taking any substance. I've been very fortunate to come up. I was up at 18 years old. I remember meeting you when I was a few months removed